Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is a special coverage of what's going on around Egypt, of the Egyptians flooding to the streets to welcome President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi after returning back home after a week-long visit to the United States to participate in the 74th General Assembly meetings of the United Nations. Well, what we are watching is live footages from the streets all over Egypt. And before that, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi was welcomed by thousands of people when he arrived earlier in the morning, and he found that there are thousands of people who were keen to go to the airport to welcome President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, showing support to Egypt leadership, expressing confidence and trust in Egypt's leadership and what it is doing for the best interest of the Egyptian people. To shed more light on the situation on the ground, to shed more light on the reflections of what's going on and what we are watching live here from Nile TV International Studios here in Cairo, we are very much delighted to have with us via phone Ambassador Gamal Bayoumy, former Assistant Foreign Minister, our diplomatic figure and our political analyst. A very good afternoon to you, sir.
Good afternoon to you. How are you?
Fine, thank you, sir. Sir, I was speaking about the, I don't know if you are following what we are airing live now or no, but we are speaking about the Egyptians who flooded to the streets since the early morning. First, to go to the airport to welcome President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi after returning from his week-long visit to the UN headquarters to participate and to address world leaders on behalf of Egypt and Africa in front of the 74th UN General Assembly meetings. And now, after Friday prayers, thousands of other Egyptians in many governorates all over Egypt are doing the same, showing support to Egypt leadership, not only the president. How do you see this first, sir, as a message to the whole world, and then we are going to go from the general to the specific?
I am following it from early in the morning. I am following every activity the president was doing during his visit to the United Nations. And really, we are lucky. We are, after all, a unified people, that Egypt will never fail to show its strength. And the real strength, as the president said, it is our people. An Egyptian in Alexandria or in Aswan, he feels that he is Egyptian. We are not tribes at all. And we are there in the streets now to show how we are supporting our president and our government, and most important, our unity. Mm-hmm. Some people were reluctant to do that because they don't need to show our support, because we gave him our support since we re-elect him recently. But it's good also to show our strength. And I think that Egypt is big enough to ignore all other attacks coming from small and tiny countries. But we have to be aware, because I think, according to my small experience, that there is a sort of organization doing these false videos, these false speeches. And I am trying to advise all the Egyptians, whenever they receive videos like that, not to share it with anybody, because as a matter of fact, we are spreading a false information about Egypt.
Yeah.
Also, I admire what the Center for Information at the cabinet, where they, on daily basis, they deny things like that. And I encourage them, and their reaction is good, not to just to deny false information, but to flood us every day with realities, with what is going on, and to go furthermore before any rumor can come to us on our telephones or on our
Can we say, sir,
TV
that
sets.
what's going on in the streets now is a practical answer to the calls for causing chaos, for spreading chaos? Is this another way to say that no, the Egyptians learned the lesson and they knew well how to differentiate between those who are really working for the best interest of the Egyptian people and the others who are just parts of the conspiracy around Egypt?
Yes, you are absolutely right. And we have to gain more confidence with pictures like the one you are showing, that we are the majority, the absolute majority. And those who are on the other side, they are not opponents. An honest opponent would use his right in elections, in the People's Assembly, in the newspapers, anywhere. But to flood us with rumors and false information, this is not at all a good work of a good opposition. We welcome the opposition because an opinion and the other opinion is a way in order to improve. We don't stop this or object this.
Yeah.
So let us show our support to Egypt first, to our president, to our government. And I am quite confident that Egypt can leave all this time behind our side and continue working. The trick there that we have to continue working, and nobody attracts us out of the strength of working, because we have a huge homework in order to develop this country, in order to create more jobs, in order to attract more foreign direct investment and more trade. And this is what exactly our president was defending during his last mission.
Amen to that, sir. And he had, I may say, tens of meetings with world leaders, with government leaders, with CEOs of big or multinational companies to achieve what you have said. And this is a process going on. It's not only with this week-long journey which took the president to the US last week. Sir, last week exactly on last Saturday, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi said or sent very important messages, not only to the Egyptians, but to the whole world in the youth conference. And he said, the most important thing between me and the people is confidence. It's trust. And today, when he is enjoying this wonderful smile, when he was speaking to the people with this kind of optimism, of enthusiasm, of zeal, of the sense of patriotism which President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi is conveying to us simultaneously without any effort. He said, don't worry. Now the Egyptians are very aware of what's going on, so do not worry. Don't worry. This is, I think, in my humble opinion, and I'd like you, sir, to elaborate on that, is a very important statement and a very important message. How do you see the Egyptians receiving or answering this don't worry which was said by the president today in the morning?
The answer that we are not worried at all anymore. We are not worried because the confidence is there, and we prove that we still give our full confidence and our full support to our country. And to our country, it means to our leader and to our president, to the government. And if we see that there are good efforts are done, we have to raise this and talk about it. If we see that there are something we notice that it has to be betterly done, we say that. And following the president going to Tokyo for the G20, then to Paris for the G7, then back to Tokyo for the TCAD, flying to New York for the General Assembly meeting. He is everywhere, and the result is quite clear if you see that Cairo is the largest city in the world hosting foreign missions and embassies. This means that he built a very good relations with all the partners in the world, and we have a capital which hosting the largest American embassy in the world, the largest Saudi embassy in the world, and this is not coming by chance. It comes because people are investing on Egypt, and also the president did not stop at Egypt's interest, but he was defending the Arab interest, of course, in his speech in the Assembly General, and he talked about Africa, where he was defending the situation in Africa, calling for more investment and trade with Africa and with the Egyptian experience,
Egypt
which
has
is going
such an
and
ambitious
well
agenda
received.
for Africa, especially after we shouldered this responsibility of being the chairman of the African Union. Sir, you are such a diplomatic figure, and you are all the time having remarks and having notes, and you know, you read among lines. So this was the sixth time President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi goes to the United Nations and to address world leaders and to attend the UN General Assembly meetings. Of course, there are differences between the first time and the last time, between the position Egypt is now occupying, between what was going on 6 or 7 years ago and today, with regaining the key role, the right position of Egypt in the whole world. It's not only in the Middle East, it's not only in Africa or the Arab world or the Muslim world, but in the whole world. If you can elaborate, sir, on the remarks of this edition, what's really eye-catchy in this time or in this journey to the UN in specific?
You are absolutely right here, and I may add that I encourage our president to go to the United Nations whenever he can, because it's a very good opportunity. This time there were 96 presidents and head of states representing their countries in the General Assembly. So instead of taking long time until he is in contact with the 30 or 40 personality he met in New York, he met them in 3 days.
Yeah.
And this is a huge opportunity. And of course, you are right to make the comparison between his first time at the United Nations and this time, which is a sixth time, where if you see just the last pictures of the lunch with President of the United States, with Angela Merkel, with the Russian president, with the Prime Minister of Japan.
Yeah.
A full opportunity to what we call the leadership diplomacy, the diplomacy of the airports. It is very quick. It brings immediately good results. And as ambassador, of course, if I want to give a message to the leadership in any country, it would take to talk to my counterpart in the Foreign Office, then to the foreign minister and to the presidency. Here we have tete-a-tete, 4 eyes dealings. And I want to tell you that one of the president's visits to Davos at the early beginning of his time, he met Angela Merkel, and by that time she invited him immediately to visit Germany. A high-ranked diplomat from Germany came to prepare for the president's visit to Germany. He said that the chemistry between Fattah al-Sisi and Angela Merkel is working quite well.
Yep.
Working quite well for the benefit of the relation between Egypt and Germany, between Egypt and any other country which we seek to continue friendship, and friendship based on exchange of interest. This is very good for Egypt
and
for the
mutual
future
respect
of our economy.
Yes. This is going to lead us, sir, to, if I may call it, the new era of Egypt foreign relations. The diversity of our foreign relations, the basics or the rules we have put in our foreign relations based on, as you've kindly mentioned, applying or implementing or reaching or achieving the best interests of both peoples when it coming to Egypt vis-a-vis any other country, mutual respect, equality. I mean, we do have a new era, if I may say so. I don't know if you agree with me or no, and about the main features of this new era.
Absolutely, and look to our foreign trade and our relations in the field of investment. Now we have a free trade area, not only with the COMESA countries, which were 21 countries. Now we are enlarging this free trade area to 51 African countries. This means 1,200 million inhabitants in Africa. We have a free trade area with the Arab world, with 22 Arab countries, with the population of 400 million inhabitants. And our main trade partner is Europe, the European Union, with another free trade area. It made our exports to Europe increase 4 times. And here we are talking now, after those efforts, that Egypt is not anymore the country of one or the market of 100 million. It is a country with 2,000 million inhabitants. Because if you produce in Egypt, this is our message to our partners, if you produce an Egyptian commodity in Egypt, you can export it to this huge market, exempted from any barriers or any tariff barriers. And this is, we shall see, we are seeing gradually, and we shall see much more development there, that more and more investment will come to Egypt. This means more exports. This means more projects. And at the end, it is more job creation for our generation who is looking forward for better life. Mind you that we are giving birth to more than 2.5 million children a year.
Per year,
we
yes.
have to do our homework in order to make their life much better than our life even.
Ambassador Gamal Bayoumy, former Assistant Foreign Minister, and always an added value to our shows on Nile TV International. Many thanks, sir, for your input, and have a very good afternoon. Footages from the streets of Egypt, from all over Egypt, from Cairo, from many provinces all over the country, where thousands of Egyptians flooded to the streets to show support to Egypt leadership. And earlier in the morning, as we said, this is a quick reminder of what happened near the airport, where thousands of Egyptians flooded to the airport and to the surroundings to welcome President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi as the head of state arrived or returned back home after a week-long visit to the U.S. or to New York to participate in the 74th meetings of the UN General Assembly, where he addressed the General Assembly meetings, where he met with such a big number of world leaders, leaders of governments, and with high-profile officials, whether from the United States or from all over the world. Well, this was a special coverage. Thank you very much. Stay tuned only on Nile TV International, always for more. This was Nermeen Abdurrahman.